Hey everyone, Captain Amazing here, and today we're going to do a premium roster review, so let's jump into it. Also, if you want to stick around to the end, I will go over my grand arena, so I have been trying to switch my sleep schedule from being awake at nights to the days, and I'm really tired, so I haven't been able to stream my GAC, but I did play it. I'll just briefly go over it right at the end just so that you guys know what my second round was like. All right, so let's jump into it. So this is a premium review, so I'm not going to spin the wheel today. We do have Slayer with the Death Watch. They have the Leviathan, so that's very good. Kyber 3. I remember when I did, I don't know what this account was like, but when I had SLKR Ray Executor Leviathan, I was able to push into Kyber. I did have some difficulty staying up higher in Kyber, just because I didn't have the offensive capability to full clear like I do now until I got Jabba. So 8.2 million GP, 4.7 in characters, 3.5 in ships. Well, only 2 years time played. Good job on that. So I do say, and very rarely have I recommended like go for Leviathan, but it is an excellent way if you have Executor. If you bought the Lightspeed bundles, it's an excellent way. Next farming pathway to kind of stay up in Kyber, get excellent fleet crystals. The difference is it's incredibly difficult to do because it's 2 conquest characters. You have to already be getting decent fleet currency so that you can 1, get Malgus out of Proving Grounds, and 2, his ship as well. So it's not something that I recommend often, but if I notice that someone is just like pushing for the meta, they want to do as best they can, then I'll recommend that. So good job on doing that farm. I know it's not easy, especially with how much time you have played, so I really do like your focus on fleets right here. So yeah, I like this a lot. A good amount of yeah, this is good. Even gear 12 Chimera is good. Executor, Leviathan, you have the Malevolence Negotiator. Let's look at these fleets real quick. All right, so your Separatist is fully built. Good job on that. Let's look at your Galactic Republic. Yeah, this is functional. So you are missing 5s from here, or the Marauder, so you can probably just start with the Ahsoka Tano and then just use 5s as a reinforcement, which is fine. Same thing as Plo Koon. So this is okay. I do like 5 starting if I don't have the Marauder, but that's totally fine as well. Once you get the Negotiator up, you'll kind of like round these out. I think you did miss the whatever bundle that gave 5s, which is totally fine. It was probably the Negotiator bundle, so I if I remember correctly. So I totally understand why you would skip that one. All right, so here's a missed opportunity. So you have the TIE Interceptor, you have the Empire fleet, but you have this itty bitty tiny Iden. So give her level 15 mods. So just upgrade these. All 5 dot mods is fine. Just make sure you upgrade them. I would probably not do these in particular. I would just give her a real set. It doesn't have to be full potency. You can. The full potency set is to counter Wampas, but you do want some more speed on there. She does start with her turn automatically, but you want her to like keep taking turns, because as their team dies, you want to be able to weaken grieve later, and then this push forward's really good. So I would probably recommend a speed and a potency set, and then build out mods first before equipping them, because if these don't hit speed at all, you're just gonna have to sell them, you know what I mean? So that's why I don't recommend that. And she likes a crit damage triangle. So overall, you probably did that to increase your GP a long time ago, maybe when you were pushing for 4 million or something. But right now, I would say you don't have to invest in her Zetas, but put the Omegas on there. Take her to, honestly, I would recommend Relic 5. If you want a reliable Executor counter, then Relic 5 is good. Gear 12 is bare minimum, but if you take her to Gear 12, you might as well take her to Relic 5. And if you take her to Relic 5, once you have the Scythe, it's going to be a reliable Leviathan counter. And even at Relic 5, with the Imperial TIE Bomber, the Imperial TIE Fighter, TIE Advance with the TIE Interceptor, TIE Defender at Relic 5, with this Chimera, you can sometimes two-shot Leviathans. So it's not 100%, but I did it when I was around your level of ships. I used the Chimera to two-shot Leviathans, and if it wasn't a 7-star Leviathan, it was super reliable. If it was a 7-star with like a there's times where you can just lose, just like any other Chimera counter. But very often, more often than not, I was able to get to ult the bomber, and then from there I could clean up the fleet. Very rarely I was able to one-shot it. So it is possible if you just get that TIE Defender up and running. I would definitely recommend that. So I do see that you have a lot of like a gear 12 characters, which is totally fine. Let's just make sure your Leviathan is good. R5 on Malgus. I would like to see R7 at least. Like, he's an excellent character. Put his Zeta on there. All health, right? Yeah. So put his Zeta on here. There's no reason to. Oh, it's an Omicron. I'll have to look at it at the end. Here, let me just jump out real quick and see what that Omicron does to see if it's even worth investing in. No, it's not. Okay, cool. Yeah, so that is the one to skip. So I skipped it. Totally the one to skip. I think the reason I skipped it is in 3v3 it doesn't even take effect because it naturally puts doubt on 2 other players, and then in 5v5 it puts it on the rest of the team. It's not necessary. I've never missed it. I've never felt like, man, I really want that Omega. It's not a big deal. So good job on skipping that one. You should be a little more choosy with them. Alright, so this is fine. Sooner or later, once you have all the fleets, you will want Radis upgraded, especially since you have the comeuppance. Personally, I put Executor, Leviathan, Radis on defense, and that gives me Negotiator, Malevolence, Chimera, Finalizer, and then once you get the Profundity, that is a really solid offense. So you'll be able to pretty much counter most things in the game, if not all, once you have like the Scythe, TIE Interceptor, Profundity, Negotiator, Malevolence, Finalizer on offense. So I'm even able to take out FU fleets. So if someone puts Leviathan, Executor, Profundity on defense, pretty much all fleets I'm able to full clear. There's times where RNG will cause me to not be able to, but pretty much if you do Leviathan, Executor, Radis on defense, Radis is actually pretty good. A lot of people like to use Malevolence as their third, and Radis is like a soft counter to Malevolence. So also just a really good, it's a good defensive fleet, I think, if you have that comeuppance, which you do, but not a priority. So Leviathan, Executor, Malevolence, Negotiator, Finalizer, Chimera, Profundity would be my priorities. Once you have all those built out and you have the extra ship credits and prestige and ship omegas, then work on your Radis. But they're probably going to be in like a year or so, maybe by the time you're ready for that, which is fine. I was around 3 years time played when I started working on that. But you have the comeuppance, you have our gear 12, you have most of these abilities. So you know you probably bought the bundles. So again, not something you need to do right now. In the long run, once you've done everything, then yeah, just kind of work on that Radis. But in the meantime, I would get this basic up, because the basic is what you use with the TIE Defender. So you use the ult and the basic. Sometimes you use these other ones to push back turn meter or to heal everyone up and give them offense up. But this basic you use to assist with the TIE Defender, and that's like your main damage dealer other than your ult. So you do want this calculated strike to be built up, because you do use it, you target the defender, and the defender continues like deleting people. It's a lot more important when you're using the Chimera to counter executors than using it for the Leviathan, but you still use it for the Leviathan as well. Just something to think about. Make sure you have all the prestige. Yep, that one's fully upgraded. That one's fully upgraded. Excellent. All right, so You have Jabba, Ray, JML, SOK. Man, this is like an account, and Jedi Knight Calcestis. Good farming pathway, dude. Excellent farming pathway. Excellent, excellent. All right, so you do have Padawan Obi-Wan, Master Qui-Gon. Ah, dude, you're killing it. Slaying R7 Queen Amidala. That's what I was planning on doing with these. Excellent. I like, man, Omicrons. You missed out the lead. Do you? Excellent job, dude. Excellent. Where are you learning all these things that you're doing? Because you are. This is an account of my heart. I think you're doing an excellent job. Excellent job. So let's see what you said. Your profundity. All right, finishing Leia, then planning profundity. I think that's an excellent plan. Personally, when I had 4 GLs, 2 GL ships, I worked on a passion project, which was JMK. You don't have to do JMK. I did it purely to round out my fleets as far as the negotiator malevolence, because it took them to R8, R7. You already have R7 on malevolence. R8 on General Kenobi isn't that big of a deal. But Leia is a great GL. I think that's an excellent idea to go Leia. Let's see how close you are to that. All right, so you do have CLS, Captain Rex, your Phoenix built up. I like that. Saw, Lobot. So profundity. Where's Drogon at? Am I missing my man? Okay, Drogon R6. Yeah. So Leia's good into profundity. I think that's a great idea. I do want to make sure that you're not missing any holes in your. All right, man. This is crazy. Absolutely nuts. It's like this account is reaching down into my soul and doing. I do wonder. Were you able to do the both assault battles with this? Because I could see it possible. It would just take more RNG so that Moff Gideon doesn't die. But I could see it possible. I will say, if you're having trouble, Stark to Gear 12 will kind of help you out, or just another Gear 12. Even a Scout Trooper, once you get him up and running, should be fine as the 5th. Like the 5th 100% doesn't matter. But I could see this working. And even in Grand Arena, I use same thing, very low gear Moff Gideon, because I do think once functionality, he works perfectly fine. Even with, I have him at like Gear 8 or something, and the team works perfectly well. So good job on that. All right, so I want to say you probably have most of the assault battles done. Yeah, this could probably do CT3. If you aren't doing it soon, I'll probably take Marin up to this level and then make a guide on it. So we'll see how that goes. But excellent job with your assault battles. Good income. You have Jabba the Hutt. You have 2 GL ships, 4 GLs. This honestly is when I recommend Inquisitors. So I would kind of round out some of these things before, after profundity maybe. So R7 Starkiller, R7 Darth Malgus. So R7 is where I park my important characters that are really good. Same thing as like Bush Leia, R7, I would say, because there's nothing I love to see more than is a Jabba the Hutt with an R5 Bush Leia on defense. So I would say, once you finish Leia, you finish profundity, then you're doing really well as far as what you have in your account. Take Cursettin to R7, take Bush Leia to R7. I wouldn't even be upset if you throw the Omicron on Cursettin if you have it. This is a really good offensive, or a team defensive and offensive on in Grand Arena. So you do want to take these two. It's like the sword and the shield when you have them at R5, when they don't have their Omicron, and it's very, very easy to beat. So even if you're taking them on offense, you want them thicker, you want them to survive. So I would say Leia, yes. Profundity, yes. Then kind of take up these relics, take up Starkiller, take up Darth Malgus to R7, Starkiller to R7, Cursettin to R7, and Bush Leia to R7, and then that should be fine as far as rounding your relics up and just getting a good amount of stuff into there. While you're doing that, you can take that would be the time where I would take Aiden to honestly before before Leia, I would probably finish Aiden at least to gear 12, at least, so that she's usable. Relic 5 if you can. So, or if you want to finish Leia, then I'll say this: Leia, Aiden. While you're working on Aiden because of the Chirotech, then start doing the R7s on Malgus Starkiller. Finish Aiden to Relic 5. Then you can continue on to Profundity. Once you finish Profundity, I would say you're ready for Inquisitors. I would say that after Leia Profundity, Inquisitors would be appropriate for your account. From there, you can kind of go into the 2025 fleet. If that's out, you can go GL Ahsoka, you can go JMK, you can go a lot of different things, but you're at the point where you have your income. And I would say if you want to, because you have a very reliable ships defense right now. If you go Leviathan, Executor, you can even still put Radis on defense and take those on offense, but you're going to have to round out your Chimera, and you're going to have to round out take your Profundity on offense. And then I would recommend sooner or later that JMK farm to finish out Malevolence Negotiator. JMK is an excellent character after Leia, so your next GL I would probably say JMK after you finish Leia Profundity. JMK or GL Ahsoka, whatever one you want. JMK is probably a lot faster, and then you can go Ahsoka, but JMK is a fantastic GL after, but you can do that after your Inquisitors, because your Inquisitors are a good farm. They are. So, and they're the last assault battle you need. They come with 2 excellent ships for the Scythe and the TIE Interceptor. You said you're relatively close to Riva, so by the time you finish Leia Profundity, and then you should be ready for Riva. So that's what I would say. If you're at the point where I still think while you're on Inquisitors, while you're doing all that Chirotech and all that stuff, that's probably the point where you can start increasing the relics on Starkiller, Malgus, Ursanton, Bush, and then also Aiden, I think would be a good point, because at that point you're kind of like waiting for a bunch of Chirotech. So if that's not convoluted enough, just watch it again. But here, quick summary, I guess. So Aiden as soon as you can, at least to gear 12, just for that fleet. Finish Leia, finish Profundity, get the relics up on these characters: Starkiller, Malgus, Bush, Ursanton. If you have it, put the Omicron on Ursanton. It's a good Omicron. Same thing, Omicron on Drogon once you have Leia. I do think for GLs and GAC, it's important to get those Omicrons. It does increase their effectiveness, and if you want holds, if you want them to perform reliably, then you need to put more investment than the bare minimum into them, is what I would say. From there, while you're rounding up your characters, you're finishing the Chirotech on Inquisitors, and from there you can go whatever it is new that you want to go, or old. I would say I wouldn't go back for C or for Lord Vader. I would probably rather you have Leia, JMK, then probably GL Ahsoka at that point, 2020 fleet, and then you can, if you have the bandwidth, then you can start working on your old stuff or wait for a bundle or something to come by. Yeah, that's what I would recommend for this account. All right, let's look at your mods real quick. I see that's not very good on his arrow. All right, so SOKR 560, a little slow. Decent, okay damage, okay health. So I will say this. So for some GLs on their arrows, if they are really good, I will try to hit those health and offense. Ideally, you'd want like percent defense, flat offense or something here, but flat health protection percent is okay. It's not the worst. Flat health is kind of the worst. But either way, it would be okay if you bump that up a little bit. Yeah, so something like this is fine for now. You do want offense percent, but it's really hard to find, right? So this I would continue working up to hit the last hit of speed. I do like this. This isn't bad. It's not perfect stats, but it's good stats. So I would try to hit the last speed there to get 3, 4, 5, 6 speed more. I don't know why you took this to 6A and not this one. I feel like you should probably refresh on my mod guides, because you were probably chasing speed to make this usable, and you were looking for a usable one, and that's not the ones that you take to 6A. The ones that you take to 6A are ones like this that have the potential to be plus 25 to hit that last from 4 to 5 hits of speed. Yeah, same as this. So I don't know why you're doing this. I would say, like, just refresh yourself on my mod guides, watch it again, because from all the mods I've seen, you're taking up ones that don't need to be taken up, and this one is okay. It's 4% offense, 16 speed. I would in the future replace this one. This one's like okay. But you do want more speed. You're looking for like 20 to 25 speed on at least on Kylo Ren. So you do want him fast. All right, so R7 JML, he's just going to be around that much protection. Otherwise, I do like potency. I like around 550 speed, so the speed's fine. Yeah, so I would change this one out whenever you can. So here's a fun thought. So 23.5% protection compared to 24%. You need the protection. So was this necessary to increase? Like, no, it's flat defense, flat protection, crit chance, all three of these stats like JML doesn't care about. 9 speed, which means it was 8 speed when you took it to maybe even 5 speed when you took it to 6 dots. Completely unnecessary. So I would say, like, I think you do need to kind of like refresh yourself on my mod guides. Probably a lot of these were you made before. So for these, you're looking for like fatty protection. So like 10%, something like this I would maybe take up, but you know, not a priority. But I'm looking for at least 10% protection on this square and this diamond. These are completely fine for now. Actually, this is nice. No wasted stats here if you take it to 6A. Yeah, so like over time I would replace that one, put this on like a pilot or something, or someone who doesn't care about speed. And then yeah, so in the future, whenever you get the bandwidth, it's going to be really hard now because there's so many R9s that we need. Like JML, if you get a luxury R9, JML should probably get it. Yeah, this is perfectly fine. I don't care about the low speeds. I just want her to be 200k health, almost 11k damage. This is totally fine. So that's good. All right, Jabba. Yeah, this is fine. I like a tenacity Jabba personally. Yeah, and then so for GLs, I'll say this: I give them their arrow because they're so stat hungry. Like for Jabba, you like some potency is okay, I guess. And then survivability, tenacity. I like a lot of tenacity on Jabba. So that's why you upgrade these arrows, is for the secondary stats. Like the 2 speed is like it's okay, but you want more. That's okay. All right, so 335 for your fastest non-GL, which Quad May. Man, it's a fast Master Qui-Gon. So I see you don't do arrows. So speed arrows are important. So you do get a guaranteed 2. They're very easy, but again, it's like it's for the stats. So I look at arrows where I'm like a good example is I just recently took my 6A or a 6.A a speed arrow for my Padawan Obi-Wan, and that was because it had 4 hits on offense, and then it turned into like a 5.5% offense speed arrow, which is good, which is great. So that's what I'm looking for. So these these arrows, don't sleep on them. Don't completely ignore them. It's not just about the speed, it's about the stats as well. So I don't want you to, and same thing, like, oh, that's 5 hits, okay. I don't want you to think that you don't need to upgrade your arrows because it's negligible. They're not. They're good. You want them. It's how you can get more speed. It's how you can get more stats. So for your good characters, I would recommend, like, hey, getting those arrows up and running is a very, very good idea. Yeah, so like Bush Leia, like she wants tons of offense. She can love some potency. She wants some survivability. Like even I think I have, believe it or not, I have an offense primary on her with some fatty speed secondaries. So make sure you're still working your arrows just like everything else. Man, that's a fast CLS 311. That's good. So you have decent mods, not horrible, honestly, especially for like 2 years. Yeah, so not bad. So I would, like I said, I for the stats, don't think like, oh, this gives me 99% functionality. That's not true. That's not true. You, like, these characters want tons of damage. They want more. They want more. So this, if you 6-dot something, if you find one with tons of offense percent, you 6-dot it, hey, that takes it up to 300. That magical number that people care about for some reason. So something to think about, right? Something to think about. I do like a crit damage triangle on them. So I like, when you get the bandwidth crit damage here, you can still use this for like Dark Trooper. You can use it for Ben Swallow. You can use it for Fennec. There's a Grandmaster Yoda. So there's a lot of characters that, well, usually the ones that do special damage that have very low crit chance, that's the ones that you want the offense with offense. So yeah, so like I said, like Ben Solo, Grandmaster Yoda, Fennec, Dark Trooper, those types of characters. So this is decent. I would continue to work these, and I would say, like, to watch my mod guides. I think there's still a lot of potential left in your mods that you can like squeeze out. So I applaud you on not putting the Omicron on pad 1 Obi-Wan. Completely unnecessary. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11, or I'm sorry, 10 300 plus characters, which isn't bad. Okay. So I'll say this, where's your Grief? So having a 300 plus speed bounty hunter is great, but if you look at it, Grief is 265. So Bosk is gonna, you know, and then do his frenzy, and then the whole enemy team's gonna take a turn, and then Grief's gonna go. So, like, if you have a fast Bosk, you want Grief to be at somewhat within the ballpark of Bosk. So you probably don't have the mod depth yet, and but you have a Lord Vader counter here. So with Fennec, Grief, Bosk, I would put the Zeta on him whenever you get the chance, the bandwidth. But like, you want Boss to frenzy, then Grief can cleanse or mass assist, and then Boss can mass assist, and then that's the counter here. You can use Bam here as the 5th. Right now you can probably use Boba, and then he can just like delete Lord Vader if he has that protection up. So if he has that protection up, Kron, you'll want to fit Boba in there, and then for Jabba you can fit in someone else, like, you know, Cad Bane or Greedo or something, just to fill the spot. But 100% Boss, Grief, Fennec, Mando. If you're just using them to beat something else, you can throw Aura in there as like the 5th, or the Dengar. Dengar is pretty good, believe it or not, just because he heals with the bombs. So if I had to put in a 5th here, maybe Jango would probably be ideal, but you could put him with Separatists. So you know, something to think about. But all I'm saying is, missed opportunity here for having a really fast, or a somewhat fast boss, but an insanely slow Grief. So something you may want to work on. And then because that Lord Vader counter can be very important. There's sometimes, especially where you're at 8 million GP, you got to really like stretch the roster, and this was my Lord Vader counter for a very long time. It works out well. You do need, I would say the Zeta on Mando is is pretty good, because then you can like pump some turn meter after like you cleanse with grief. Mando goes, he starts like critting and then pumping turn meters through the team, and then you just get that train rolling. Fennec starts like armor shredding and kicking people in the face, and it works out well. So something to think about. But I'm sure you have tons of priorities for your mods and stuff. So it's what I usually do is I don't chase primaries. I try to find good mods, and then when I find good mods, I find homes for them. But overall, like, excellent account. I gave you a good farming priorities and pathway. I really love what you're doing. Like I said, this is like something, an account from my heart, I think, is what I see here of just like you're doing everything that I would do with an account. Even you got like Jedi Knight Cal Kestis, so you're Zepho ready. Like, excellent job. I would, like I said, I would boost up some of those relics whenever you finish your Leia and your Profundity, and then while you're working on the Chirotech for your Inquisitors, then that's going to give you an opportunity to kind of like R7 some of these backlogs, get Iden up and running before those Inquisitors for your ships, and then just kind of from there you can go whatever you want. JMK, GL Ahsoka, Balin Skull, 2025 fleet. I would recommend holding off on Lord Vader and C until you pretty much have all the other GLs and GL ships. Then you can loop back and get like Lord Vader or C in whatever order you want. Oh yeah, other than that, that's what I got for this account. So let's talk about my Grand Arena real quick, because I'm not going to have an opportunity to do this. I will timestamp this just so that people can have time to see my everything. So if you don't want to watch this, or if you do, but I do want to talk a little about like what happened here. All right, so this was my opponent with a mini Mando. I'm just going to give you a real summary. Like, he just like beats me and everything. Even has an R9 executor, has like everything. A lot of them are better. Ridiculous Datacron rerolls, a lot more relics. I beat them in plus 25 speed mods. It's kind of my thing, but not a big deal. And then they just have they beat me in every other category by a lot. So 11, almost a 12 million GP account. I'll say this, I played this really dumb, and I made a huge mistake that may have cost me the match, because I 100% I would have so if we go here, let me hide my face. So as you can see, I dropped 2 battles here. I think this was the support cron, Datacron, and it rocked me. I've never lost with Sith Empire against this Seer team, and I lost. I was able to clear everyone except for this Ahsoka with that support cron. She absolutely deleted everyone. She one-shot my Malgus. She one-shot him. It was nuts. Luckily, because of the debuffs and everything, Malak was able to survive, because like Malicos pretty much like threw rocks, killed most of my team. She was practically GL Ahsoka, but Ahsoka just ended up one-shotting everyone, and then it was Malak, and Malak was able to just kind of like force drain Malicos and then Seer. And then I was able to even do it against Cal, and that just left me with Ahsoka and crew, and I was able to clean it up from there. And then I made a huge mistake here, which was 100% my fault. I was, like I said, I'm running on like bare fumes here. It was really dumb. But I brought the Rey team, and I was going to use Starkiller, but instead of Starkiller, I had the team, and then I put in Ben Solo. It is the dumbest thing I've ever done. So not only did I destroy my Starkiller team because I don't have a team for him anymore, I wasted an attacker cron. I also have my Rey, and I wasted the Ben Solo with Rey. Luckily, I was able to just go in with my Rey, and it's still like this wasn't there wasn't anything super crazy here. Like if they would have thrown like baby Cal into this or something, I probably would have been screwed. But even with them having Ben solo and me not having a Ben solo, whenever she would ult, I would ult, and then my ult, she would take damage from ult and I wouldn't. And after doing that about 3 times, the team like just died. Like I killed the whole team, and then it was just like Ben solo got revived, I whirlwind him, and then I was able to kill Ray. So that's how I ended up being beaten that team. I used Phoenix for this for Riva Inquisitors. That worked out pretty well. I used Wampa, even Wampa against this stop. If you have the good Wampacron, absolutely like decimates that. So without the Wampacron, I wouldn't recommend it. So from here on the bottom, I had Jabba, Quadme, Lord Vader, and a Zori team. So for Lord Vader, I used SOKR. For Jabba, I used Inquisitors. For Padme, I used Bin, and then I used CLS for this Zori team. It worked out pretty well. On the back, they still had a decent back wall, so they had Qui-Gon, Gungans, and this Luthen Mon Mothma team. So for the Luthen Mon Mothma team, I used Jabba. I just had Jabba, so that was really easy. With one Omicron, Traya could have beat this pretty reliably. I'm 99% certain. But I had Jabba, so I just used that. That was a really easy win. For the Gungans, I used JMK with Padme Kron. It just absolutely decimates them. And then for Qui-Gon, I think I used JML. So overall, like a good. And then the same thing, they had Leviathan on defense with a Negotiator Malevolence. As you see, like he only got 1 reinforcement. I used the Chimera to absolutely like decimate this dude. For their Negotiator with Marauder, I ended up using my Profundity, so that beats it very reliably. And then for this Malevolence, I just used the Negotiator. So overall, very difficult opponent. I like 100%. This was my fault. I'm 100. I was too tired. I slept like probably like 3 hours because I'm trying to like switch my sleep schedule, and I just made a very dumb mistake here. So yeah, that's just what happened. So but still have a decent score, full cleared 1800. Honestly, I thought after that mistake, I thought I wasn't going to have enough to full clear. But I did. I still have a decent defense now. I'm putting some actual like stuff on defense, so maybe not so much on the top, but the bottom it's okay. And then I still have my fleets, so I still have a chance of winning this. Just probably not a very good chance considering this dude's account is pretty good. So otherwise, yeah, so that's it. So sorry. Hopefully, my 3rd round I'll be able to stream. We'll see how my schedule is and how I'm feeling. I just haven't been able to have like the stamina to live stream yet. Just with after working those 14-hour night crews and then switching to days. But you know, hopefully soon I'll be able to start doing it. Otherwise, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Take care.